Double your lasers, double your fun, double your printing speed with 2 fiber lasers from Farsoon. Let's talk about it. Thanks so much for joining us. Farsoon just released these awesome new printers, primarily their Flight HT403P. Love the naming scheme, but what is awesome about it is the fact that it has dual fiber lasers at 300 watts each. Check this out. A pair of 300 watt fiber lasers, not CO2, fiber freaking lasers that are getting scan speed of upwards of 20 meters per second. Even the best 3D Systems SLS machine cannot compete. Their best one's doing 12.7 meters per second, and its build volume is so small compared to Farsoon. And their big boy, the one that can compete to this Farsoon, is only dealing in 10 meters per second, and that's because the CO2 in the S Pro 230 is weaker than the laser that we make our business cards with. Farsoon is using a 300 watt fiber laser duo 2 that'll cut through freaking metal and make really awesome parts. If you are looking to learn a little bit more about some of this high-end tech, we did a video on it right here. This machine's kind of cool. All right, 300 watt fiber, that's a big boy, and a pair of them, that's a couple of big boys. And the build volume, woo! 400 by 400 by 450. That's 16 by 16 by 18 inches. That's a big, big machine. And yes, they're saying that you can enable 50 to 90% higher production volume rates compared to the single laser configuration, and 3 to 4 times the yield of a single CO2 laser. There are not that many companies using CO2 lasers anymore in SLS 3D printing because the cost of fiber lasers has come down so much. And as someone that runs a CO2 laser, now it's not an SLS machine, but it is a laser, CO2 can be a little picky and over time will lose a lot of its power. With fiber lasers, they are considerably more powerful. You get much higher yield out of them, which results in faster cuts and generally better quality parts. So fiber is the way to go, and we're seeing a big push in that. I mean, just understanding the laser cutting industry, a 10 watt fiber laser used to cost you somewhere in the range of $50,000 to $60,000. Now you can get them like sub 10K delivered to your door. So it's pretty cool. You can do some pretty cool stuff with them. We don't have one yet, but maybe, just maybe, we can do it. I'll be excited to really understand this more, because fiber's cool, and the sound it makes is even cooler. They are using PA12. PA12, nylon. So polyamide is nylon, just, it's the same. Don't worry about it. And they're able to build in that large build volume, and I'm hoping that we can get some pricing on this pretty soon. But I would believe if they are able to get this machine under, let's say, 500 grand, I think they're gonna have a pretty good sell point here. And they're gonna introduce a glass bead reinforced material as well. Come on, guys. Now, look, I wanna be clear. This is not new technology, right? SLS 3D printing, totally been around for a long friggin' time. Farsoon is saying that they are faster. Now, I want to see it compared to some of the dual laser systems from EOS. I would show you some. Unfortunately, I couldn't get EOS's website to load. But interestingly, I said, okay, I know EOS has fiber laser SLS machines. Well, if you're not buying from EOS, you're probably going to buy from 3D Systems. Now, I don't like 3D Systems. I have owned enough 3D Systems machines to know that I just don't like them. A little bit of a personal story. I was one of the great kings of the full color sandstone. We worked with people from the Smithsonian to Snoop Dogg. And yes, I can prove both of those. However, when we were, and these were ProJet 660 Pros from 3D Systems, if you would like to look them up. They're $70,000 machines, 90 grand with materials. I'll blow that one for you. But when they would go down, the answer that I would get from the head of servicing in 3D Systems was, if you want these machines to work good, just buy more. And that's not really an answer for me as a consumer. If I've got $10 million of their machines, yeah, buying another one really doesn't hurt me, but I don't. And I'm not gonna, especially anymore. But hey, thanks for doing great with your stock recently. Appreciate that. Anyways, I went to 3D Systems website, and 3D Systems has a great little comparator for their machines, so you can see some of their material selection guide. Farsoon says that they have a pair of 300-watt fiber lasers with scanning speeds up to 20 meters per second. And I thought, that's not that bad. I think I've seen faster. When looking at 3D Systems, we see their Pro X SLS 6100 and even over to their S Pro 230. Their S Pro 230 has a astounding 550 by 550 by 750 millimeters, or 22 by 22 by 30 inches for you Yanks out there, build volume, but it's a 70 watt CO2, and they're at half of the scanning speed of Farsoon. So this is actually pretty cool. Now, is it real? I don't know. Likelihood of us getting our hands on a Farsoon SLS machine is incredibly low, but I'm inclined to believe them, right? If you're going to show off a machine like this at TCT Asia 2021, you better have your you-know-what together, or you're going to have a problem. Now, is it common that we'll get machines out of China that are sometimes a little overpromised and underdelivered? Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. But when you're talking about industrial-grade 3D printers, this is not your Ender 3 here, everybody. This is a machine that has service contracts that cost more a day than your Ender 3 costs, period. It's got failures that cost more than your printers, but it can print much faster and much crazier materials. Their fastest machine from 3D Systems, 12.7 meters per second. Farsoon is almost doubling that, which is insane. Now, their technology is not new, but the way they're implementing it is. And remember, patents, in the United States at least, need 3 things. Is it novel, unique, and non-obvious? Well, okay, what they're doing is probably not novel, it's certainly not unique, and it's certainly not non-obvious. So they probably won't be able to get a patent on it, but I believe this technology is awesome. Now, normally how this is done, it is with what is called a galvanometer. And no, that is not a thermometer. That's completely different. Galvanometers, or Galvo for short, are basically a servo-controlled mirror that can move incredibly fast. And remember, the little movement here translates to a big movement down the line, right? If you've ever played with a laser pointer, you make one little move and the thing's like halfway across the room and your cat is going wild. Speaking of, we got to put stunt double in, or Greenfield, as some of our subscribers have named the stunt double. But this technology is amazing, and it is actually what I believe is used inside of 3D Systems as well. But Farsoon is likely using higher accuracy, higher speed galvos, and that's really what the industry is all about. Galvos are actually used in Formlabs 3D printers, and if you're wondering about Formlabs, we talked about them, and them getting to a $2 billion with a B dollar valuation. If you want to learn more about that, we'll have a card to that video right here. Formlabs uses galvos too, but of course their galvos are not as nice as Farsoon's. Let's be real. 300 watt fibers, those are some big banana lasers right there, and that is very much laser of don't look at it with your remaining good eye, although if you've looked at it with your eyes, you're probably getting a sunburn too. These lasers are no joke, and that's why they likely require it to be ran straight up in an enclosure. Now, on Farsoon's website, by the way, one of the coolest photos I have ever seen. Now, this is metal laser citric, but you can see the laser, But let's take a look at some of the other things that Farsoon has. Their 403P is what this is. Again, gorgeous marketing from a company that up until now I have never heard of. But this was the machine that they really came out with. Their big boy's a dual 100 watt CO2, and boy is he thick. 1000 by 500 by 450 millimeters. That is a big chungus of a machine right there. That's going to be a few McMansions worth of payments to make that happen. But hey, if you're a big business and you need something like that, which apparently they just popped on screen for you there, for, you know, aerospace, automotive, medical, and gears that don't cog well together, you should maybe look at those machines. I love some ways that companies do their marketing. Like, those gears will never work, ever, anyways. Them putting out a fiber laser really does kind of disrupt what we're seeing. I know EOS has a fiber laser, but gateway timeout, so that's not going to happen today. But I believe that Farsoon is probably looking at really changing the game when it comes to pricing. At the end of the day, fiber is faster than CO2 because you can put a bunch more heat where it belongs faster every single time. And in a business, time is money, and that matters. If you are running SLS machines right now, or even DMLS, right? Your standard nylon or direct metal laser sinter, DMLS, and you are sitting there waiting for parts to get done, the Farsoon may not be a bad machine. We're gonna keep doing some coverage on cool tech that we see coming out of TCT Asia. I think this is cool, and maybe you do too. If you had a big ass SLS machine, what would you make with it? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions. And hey, by the way, we hit 1,000 subs, which is so cool. Thank you guys so much for all of your help. And quite frankly, I want to give a shout out to my team. Everybody, all the Musketeers at 3D Musketeers, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. This wouldn't be possible without you. So this could happen without me. You could put any idiot in front of a camera and do videos, but you can't get good editing. You can't get good stories. You can't get good any of this without the right team. So I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart, not just my team, but our subscribers. Thank you guys so much for supporting us in this journey. We're not going anywhere. We're going to ramp it up. Well, we already did ramp it up. I don't know if we can ramp it up much more. I may not get any sleep. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you would make with a big freaking SLS machine. I know what I would make. I'd make really, really big parts for all of my tiny 3D printers. Stay safe out there, everybody. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. Okay, Greenfield. We're good. We did it. High five. All right. Servo-controlled mirror. So you have your pew, your laser, going to the mirror, and the mirror can go, "Rah!"